Okay, we're on chapter 37 of Genesis, but I wanted to make a cross-reference. I believe it's a good cross-reference in a way to Acts 6. As we know, the Alexandrians were the ones who monkeyed with the Greek texts of the Bible. And it says here in verse 9 of Acts 7, or 6, Then there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines, and the Cyrenians, and Alexandrians, and of them of Cilicia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. And they were not able to resist the wisdom of the Spirit by which they spake, or which he spake. When they suborned men which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God. And in verse 13 it says again, And set up false witnesses which said, This man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. So they had a problem with his words. Okay, now. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. And these are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood aright, and behold, your sheaf stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. But they were the words of God. God gave him those dreams, and God gave him the words to speak. Don't be surprised when people don't like you for the things that God has shown you that you try to share with them. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and my mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves unto the earth? Or to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. And his brethren went to feed their father's flocks in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto him, Here am I. And he said unto him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he went him out of the vale of Hebron, and came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed thence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. That's interesting. What's the deal with that guy? And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit. And we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him. And we will see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. This is cool, because Reuben always takes the lead. He's the oldest. But later on, we'll see how Judah takes over and stands in the place of, in defense of Joseph that's in chapters ahead. And it's like an example of where Judah sort of takes the role of the Lord, as an example of the Lord. Stands in the place. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him, and they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? See, it's not the part I'm talking about with Judah, but Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother in our flesh. And his brethren were content. And there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph unto the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph unto Egypt. The last time I read this made me wonder, were there 3 groups? The brothers, the Ishmaelites, and the Midianites? And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes, and he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all the sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and the captain of the guard. Why?
Because, in Sunday school they're always like, and then his brothers sold him, but it looks like they were planning on selling him.
Yeah,
the Midianites kind of beat them to it. And they're like, oh no, he's gone.
Well, I think the Midianites pulled him out. I asked a guy one time about it, and he said something about the Midianites. I can't remember how he mentioned it, like they were one or the other group was, I don't remember. But anyway.
It said that Reuben returned and saw he wasn't there.
I don't think the brothers were planning on selling him, and he was planning on getting him out before they could.
Well, you know what I think is kind of interesting too? The Ishmaelites were the ones who went. I mean, there's some significance because later on, and I can't remember what it is right now, there was some sort of thing with Ishmaelites or Midianites. Oh, I know what it was. It was with Moses. When he came out of Egypt, his Laban, was it Laban? Was like the king over the Midianites or something like that. So I realized that Moses was like the original Exodus out of Egypt of the Jews. He was the first one to leave. So maybe when we get through Genesis, we'll read into Exodus to the point where they get out of the Red Sea at least, and then we'll go to Luke. Maybe.
Well, why are we reading Genesis? I thought we were reading the whole Old Testament.
Not the whole Old Testament. Hey, Allison, I was still recording. I am still recording. It is. I am.